Thank you to the honorable gentleman from Washington for the time. I rise today, Mr. Speaker, to highlight, to call attention to a crisis that is facing our tribal communities, really our tribal communities throughout the country, and that is violence against American Indian women. More than 1.5 million American Indian women have experienced violence, all too many sexual violence during their lifetimes. The numbers are staggering. They have experienced violence, murder, kidnapping at much higher rates than other women. 1.5 million women. I know some of these women. Like my colleagues on both sides of the aisle, I have looked in their eyes. I have heard their heart-wrenching stories of violence, of trauma. I've held their hands. I have hugged them, as through tears, they have described to me events that I otherwise could not imagine. In just the last few years, we have had 6,000 American Indian women, our countrymen, our countrywomen, who have gone missing. And just a handful of those cases have been logged with the Department of Justice. And in that way, our federal government is not doing enough to combat this problem. We know, every one of us here tonight knows that we can do better. That's why I have felt so good about how many of my colleagues today have mentioned Savannah's Act, which clearly I'm a co-sponsor of, I'm a supporter of. It is not a perfect bill. It does not do enough. But it tries to highlight, it tries to call attention to, it brings attention to, it brings resources to the experiences of those 1.5 million American Indian women who have faced this violence. No, Mr. Speaker, it is not a perfect bill. But for those of us who have looked those women in the eyes, for those of us who have heard their stories, we know that it is an important first step and one that this Congress should take. Thank you.